Hello. Hey everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, let me know. Hop into the comment section. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm doing better at watching the comment section now, paying attention. I want to talk about high achievement and healing today and how they can intersect, and also how it can often feel like they don't go together. I have spoken to some high achievers who feel like healing isn't necessary. Because as long as they push through, as long as they get it done, doesn't matter if they need to work hard or sacrifice. Like, they could just push through and get it done, and then they'll get it done, right? And so there's not really healing that's needed as long as they can handle what needs to be handled. And there's truth to that. And then there's also the underbelly of that. If pushing yourself really hard and being really good at getting things done also requires that the mental and emotional strain, hurt, pain, stress is swept under the rug or pushed away into boxes, and never are you coming back to work with it, then healing is needed. No matter what you've convinced yourself of otherwise. And I could tell you this, besides all of the work that I've done with clients, I could tell you this from all of the work that I've had to do with myself. The first 2 decades of life, believing that there was no space for my emotions and that all that mattered was what I could get done to prove myself or what I could get done to help others, so that they would see me in this particular way that I wanted them to see me, so I would feel wanted and feel accepted. And your story may be different, and your reasons why may be a little bit different, unique unto you. But what happens when the action takes precedence over the interactions that are happening inside, the mental and emotional interactions that are happening inside, is that a disconnect is created, internal disconnect. And the words that I'm saying, depending on where you're at in your journey right now, may or may not fit. But what I would encourage you to do is to get a sense inside by feeling, noticing, do I feel at peace within myself? Do I feel deeply connected, not just to my capabilities of what I can get done, but do I feel deeply connected to my own emotional needs, my own mental space, and safe in expressing my emotional needs, and safe in expressing my mental health needs, safe in asking for support if and when I need it? Is that true? Can I say that that feels true for me? Or is there some room for improvement? There's no judgment here. But I want to talk about this because I know where that route leads. When we separate, oh, if you're a high achiever, there's no space for healing. It's just go, 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 handle, 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 push, push, push. If you're, and maybe use a different word, high achiever is just one label. Maybe go-getter, maybe action-oriented, maybe goal-oriented, maybe solution finder, maybe barrier breaker, whatever words you're using. Maybe the word high achiever doesn't fit. But when you are having to be the strong one, the pusher, the doer, the over-functioner, what happens with your emotional and mental needs? What happens in relationships with people that you love and care for? Is there reciprocity where you can receive what you need and express yourself genuinely? Or is it more of a one-way, lopsided kind of street? This is about getting curious. And it's also about wondering for yourself, am Is there some space for healing for me? Is there some space for a kind of reset? Because maybe I was going down this path of achievement, of goal orienting, this go-getter success path, and things were going well, and I'm noticing now that I've diverted in this direction, and so my mental and emotional health are falling to the wayside, and that's affecting my relationships and my physical health. It's going to look a little bit different for each of us, but there is this trap that we can fall in as go-getters, as people that are like these what's the word I'm looking for? Super independent Wonder Women. There's this trap that we can get sucked into where you need to have the grit and the initiative and the motivation, and you need to stay in that energy of the grit and the motivation to push through, to handle it all, to hold it all. With this I can do it, I can handle it mindset. Maybe because I have to, maybe because I should, maybe because I have something to prove. But what the flip side of that can often mean is that we're looking so much on the outside of what needs to get done, so much at the external and the forward movement, that we can miss right here and right now what the signal is inside for the reset or the deeper healing that is being called for inside of us, internally, within you. Sometimes it's this nudge, this feeling, this sense inside that's like, something's off. Something's not right. Oh, it's tight. Oh, there's tension. Oh, actually, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go in this direction. But I feel like I have no choice. These are the internal stirrings that we can push to the side or ignore or deny or minimize. And when we do that, we are ignoring, denying, minimizing essential parts of ourselves. Call it your intuition. The parts of yourselves that connect you to your soul, to your sense of purpose, to where that passion is fueled. And the cost here is that if we continue down that road, not paying attention to those nudges, eventually, even though we hit a lot of goals and we do a lot of things, eventually burnout or compassion fatigue or chronic stress, emotional fatigue, relational resentment, it will and does, it creeps in. You cannot keep it at bay forever. It creeps in. Because we're not meant to ignore the internal landscape all of the time. We're meant to be able and willing to practice tapping into it, to pay attention to it, so that we can honor the reset that it needs. We can honor the space that it needs. We can learn and be guided by it. And this may sound, some of you are like, yes, and some of you are like, what are you talking about? It doesn't, wherever you're at in your journey, totally okay. Whether you are fully with me on this, or whether you're kind of like, I don't know what she's talking about, but yeah, maybe I am pushing myself a little bit too hard. We're all at in a little bit of a different place, or a lot of bit of a different place in our journey. Regardless, this holds true that if we continue down a path of go, 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 of do, of hold it all together, of having to be the strong one all the time, all alone, it does eventually catch up with us. You can't run fast enough to get away from it, right? And there's tons of statistics that support this for men and for women, but especially for women and those of us that are navigating, managing our work lives, managing our home, managing being a parent, being a mom. Female executives report burnout rates of upwards of 43%. So nearly half of female executives, right? About a third of women working women feel a sense of burnout, either seeping in or just like constantly there, like on them, that feeling where it's like There's not anything actually physically on you, but you could just feel it. Like you could just feel it. Ugh, like my body just feels the weightedness. You know that feeling? About 55% of women experience burnout as opposed to around 42% of men. And so men and women are both struggling with burnout, right? And around 51% of working women are reporting feeling a lot of stress on a day-to-day basis. And here's one that I have a particular spot in my heart for, because I am a woman, a service-oriented woman, a woman in the health and human service field. And women in healthcare, so healthcare professionals, our nurses, our doctors, our therapists, we all face significantly higher likelihood of burnout rates and chronic stress rates, especially when we are trying to balance domestic responsibilities at home. And so we don't need to get to burnout before we choose to shift. We don't need to get to burnout before we choose to reset. When we are open and able and willing to notice that something is feeling a bit off or something is feeling a bit disconnected, even if you can't put your finger on it, you're willing to notice that feeling. Even if you have a million things on your plate and you're like, I don't have time for that right now, that you're willing to take a pause for a couple minutes and notice that feeling so that you can do something about it. That is what this reset experience that is opening, enrollment is open now, doors close on September 9th. That is what this reset experience is about. Listening to that nudge, listening to that internal feeling that's like, maybe I can't put my finger on it, but yes, I have the drive to hit my goals. I have lots of dreams. I've done lots of things. I'm growing my business. I'm raising my family. I'm soaring professionally. And something feels off, or something feels like I want maybe something different or something more, or maybe just something deeper. And I'm not really sure, but I just know there's a thing. I can feel it. I can sense it. That's what the reset experience is for. And it's meant to be flexible for busy women like you and I, because we do have a lot on our plates. And we can't just pretend it's not there. But there are ways that we can manage it differently and manage our internal landscape differently. And in this reset experience, you get to pick and choose which portions. If you want to show up live, if you want to catch the recordings, if you want to join an impromptu hot seat coaching call, or if you don't. If you want to engage with the private community, or if you don't. No matter what, you're going to get every single day bite-sized, guided support that you can customize to your situation, to what's going on with you. And you can engage with that and in kind of integrate it into your day-to-day in just about 15 minutes a day. So it's meant to be practical and powerful. Because I think, many of us have unintentionally been trained to believe that in order to be this strong, successful, powerful woman, we have to show that we can hold it all and do it all alone. And the challenge with that is that we are not meant to be alone all the time. We're not meant to do everything alone all the time. There is so much power in your ability to believe in yourself, in your ability to get things done. There's so much power in that, and there's so much beauty in that. And also, there's the yin and the yang, right? And so the other piece of that complements it and helps it to continue to grow, to thrive, to evolve, to blossom, is this other piece that allows you to have some community and have some support. To really embrace that we are a social, emotional species. And when we try to go it alone too often, too long, we're missing a piece. That doesn't mean we're wrong, doesn't mean we're bad, doesn't mean we're weak. Doesn't mean any of those things. Just means that sometimes is the time for us to navigate the trenches of life with just our own focus, moving forward and that headstrong kind of feeling, you know? And then there's times when we need to open it up, hold out our hands, and allow community in. There's beauty, there's blessings, there's guidance in both of those. In social support that can help you go deep, and in internal support and resources that can help you feel a sense of sustenance even when the going gets tough. You can actually gain support from the internal and from the social, right? From inside of you and from those around you, especially when you're surrounding yourself with other powerhouse women that get it, that are also navigating all these different multifaceted areas of themselves and their lives. I think it's so important to infuse science and psychology and soul in this kind of work, because leaving one out, I think, leaves out an aspect of ourselves that disconnects us from that really deep sense of purpose that we want to feel. And what I want for you is to feel a sense of purposeful presence and connection in the way that you experience your relationships, your work, and yourself, without having to sacrifice who or what matters most to you, without having to sacrifice profits or your profession. And I know that we can do that together. So if this is resonant for you at all, you can check out the link. I have the free masterclass. If you haven't checked out the free masterclass, that's a great place to start. The free masterclass is the Reset Masterclass, available to you for 72 hours once you register for it. It's going to talk you through a more condensed version of the 5-step framework that you can take with you, rinse and repeat if you want, as well as some other elements that we touched on today that can really help deepen this awareness of that inner nudge that you might have going on, this inner pull, this inner tug, and help you to notice it, to be aware of it, and to figure out how you specifically might want to listen and tune in and see what the next steps might be for you. So thanks for hanging with me today. I'll see y'all next time.